It's coming. There's no escape. On Halloween, the veil between this world and the next will lift. And then all hell breaks loose.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back to Traveling with SHOWCO.
Okay, so hey, this is October. Obviously, we're putting up some of these videos a little later than we should have, but we've been very busy this whole month. It's been a whirlwind of road trips and visiting places and talking at conferences and things like that. So we're going to start it off with what we did. You know what? I take this back. I hope all of you had a great Halloween and did something fun and had a good time, because we're going to eventually talk about our house out here, that we're basically the only people that decorated on this block. And had no trick-or-treaters, but we'll talk about that when we come to the next one we start doing again. But I'm really like, I can't believe we don't have any trick-or-treaters, and oh, it's crazy.
And candy. We had full-size box candy.
We did have candy. Yes, we did have that for them, and they didn't show, so they get nothing. So anyway, so there you go. So that's the way we're going to start today. We're going to start how we said, hey, let's go. We heard about from a place up in Kentucky called the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular. And apparently it's so massively big, and it's got all these carved pumpkins everywhere, and you can see all this cool stuff, that we said, we got to go up there. It's not that far away. I mean, Kentucky's not that far, and Louisville isn't that far. So we made it a road trip. We stayed up there. So we went up for the day, did our stuff, stayed the night, and came back the next day, so which was pretty cool. So but let's start by talking about where we went when we first came up there. We first drove up to Kentucky. We started looking for cool places to go and check out. And I'm trying to think which was first out there. We went by the Corvette Museum.
It might be the Corvette Museum was the first one.
That was cool out there, and that's a huge, absolutely humongous Corvette museum, biggest one in the nation.
And you can rent a Corvette, and they have a track on the other side of the street that you can drive.
High-speed track over there, so you can go as fast as you want on that side. So that was pretty cool. We put up a couple pictures of that place up there, so that's pretty neat. And then we found a couple of just weird roadside attractions. The largest, what was it? The largest?
Thumbtack.
Largest thumbtack. And it's probably 2 stories tall. It's this big thing. And we took a picture of it. It's in our pictures. If you take a look, see, you'll see it.
Yep.
And then where'd we go after that?
Probably, I think we hit Bardstown by then.
We did go to Bardstown. Bardstown, very historic town, built in the 1700s. Just a really cool town, very small, and it's just like, oh my gosh. If you know me, you know I love history, and all that was great right there. We went to the Talbot Tavern, which was built in 1796, and had so many famous people stop there. I mean, I forget who else they said was there. Jesse Jackson. No, he wasn't there, but Jesse James was there.
Yeah.
And apparently he shot his gun off in the room, and there's some bullet holes still there, and the place is extremely haunted. They were talking about that. They do ghost tours and things. We missed that. We didn't get to go on that because we were waiting for something else. But
so Bardstown ended up being a surprising find. We didn't, like, you go into all these towns, you never know what you're going to expect. Bardstown, absolutely adorable it looks like a little Hallmark town. Like, if it was ready for Christmas, it looks like it could be like a Hallmark Christmas town. We do want to go back and spend more time. We didn't have enough time. They have obviously lots of whiskey up there, so the entire square was full of nothing but wineries. And
yeah, but tell them the name of that whiskey that we went.
Oh yeah, we did go to one tasting room because it was called Chicken Cock Whiskey. Of course, like, we went by there. They're like, do you want to try anything? It's like, I don't know. It's probably like, I don't know, 11, 12 o'clock in the morning. And we're like, it's a little early.
You really don't want to try some Chicken Cock whiskey. That seemed a little bit weird. But the name's really crazy. I just saw, and it's everywhere. They've posted it all over the place because they know they have such an odd name out there.
And then I want to go back to the Talbot Tavern real quick.
Yeah.
So on the menu, they did a soup flight.
That's pretty cool.
So instead of ordering one soup, you could order a soup flight, and it was 3 different soups. It was a tomato soup. It was I forget what they called it. And then they had 2 other types of soups. I don't remember what it was. There's a picture up online, but it was a soup flight. So it was fun to try the 3 different soups that they had. So,
and where you're eating is like, it looks like it was built in 1700s. I mean, it is really. They got a huge fireplace, and the floor was those wood plank floors, and just really a cool place to see and think, my God, who walked in this place in the 1700s. I mean, that's so crazy.
And another cool thing about that place is you can download their app and
Yeah.
do your own guided walking tour of the building. So since we didn't have a whole lot of time, I downloaded it and we listened to it going up to our final destination, which was Louisville. But it was cool that you could do your own little tour, and then
You
they
can
told
actually
you where to
stay
go.
there. They have rooms. They don't have a lot. I think they got 9 rooms.
Yeah.
And that's it. But it's like you can stay there overnight if you want to, if you're brave enough to stay there in that haunted place.
Yeah.
And I mean, out of all the places we've been, that place really does look haunted. It is really a very old looking tavern right on the square. And it's like, holy
And then
cats.
right next to it, there's an old jail
Oh,
that
yeah.
you could stay
Yeah.
in. They've converted it to like a B&B. And I was like, I really wish we had more time because they were doing tours of the jail. We just didn't have time to
Yeah,
do all
we need
that
to go
stuff.
back there and check it all out because we walked around a little bit, but we had to keep going, so we were
Yeah.
doing other stuff. But it was cool because they had lots of historic markers around the place.
Mhm.
And what was that one? Somebody like did some surgery and cut somebody's arm off.
Oh, it was like the first amputation, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it took place in that town during the Civil War, where they did the first amputation of somebody's arm or leg. I can't remember what it was. We took a picture of the sign out there, but very cool, very neat little town.
Yeah, we want to go back. I think it'd be a lot of fun to go back and just be
Yeah.
able to stay up there.
I looked it up on their Facebook page, and they had their thing about Christmas, and my God, it is a Hallmark movie.
Mhm.
When they decorate that whole little town for Christmas out there. So very cool. And then we moved on from there and went over to Louisville to find
We went to the cemetery.
Oh, we did go to
It's I
you
don't
know us. If we're going out, we're going to see a cemetery.
remember if it was Cove Hill or Cave
I think
Hill.
it's Cave Hill Cemetery.
Cave Hill Cemetery. So it's a huge cemetery.
Very big.
It's like we drove around for blocks before we were able to find an entrance to it. It's a very large cemetery and it's got multiple entrances.
Yeah. And it's got a lot of notable people buried there.
Yes.
So we had to go check out a few of the burial sites of these folks.
And because he's taking me to so many cemeteries at this point in time, I have learned that some of the more notable cemeteries that have lots of notable people buried, you can find usually a map of the cemetery that show you where the people are buried.
Yeah.
And I've gotten really good at reading the signage in cemeteries too. So this one was actually interesting because on the map, it tells you that Colonel Sanders was buried there. And I think he had a yellow line that led to his grave.
Yeah.
So it's found
Right down the middle of the street is a yellow line.
and it takes you right to it. And then there was a green line in the middle of the street that led you right to Muhammad Ali. Now, mind you, they're on 2 different sides of the cemetery,
Yeah.
so you had to get to where the line was. But once you were within, I don't know, a couple of turns of it, you'd see the line. It was easy to
And there were
find.
some really unusual people buried there
Yeah.
that were like apparently big people, big stars or whatever. But there was the Frito-Lay, people make the chips. Frito-Lay had their own on-site magician that they apparently used for something. I have no idea. But he's buried there, and he's buried pretty close to Colonel Sanders. But
Yeah.
it's crazy because it's like they made it out like, oh my gosh, this is the Frito-Lay magician.
Yeah.
He's right here. I never even heard they had one. I'm like,
Yeah, he just a little spot. But this cemetery probably had 30 graves of famous, I guess,
yeah.
famous Kentuckians or whatever. So we only recognized a couple of them. But I did find, so we like the roadside attractions app. I did find one of the graves. It was a hand coming out of the grave. It was like a huge, I don't know, brass or whatever they make them out of hand. It's the only thing on that app that has ever defeated us.
Yeah.
We drove around for probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes looking for this hand and we could never find
I
it.
thought this is right before Halloween. How great is it going to see a hand coming out of somebody's grave? I thought, oh my God, this is going to be great.
Could never find it. Drove around and around and around.
But we saw the picture of it. We looked it up on the
Yeah.
thing, and I'm glad we didn't find it because it was just a enormous
Just
hand
like this.
sitting on it. And I'm like, oh, that's not what I thought. It's a Halloween road trip. Halloween road trips, we got to see scary stuff and unusual things and all that kind of stuff. So I said, oh my goodness. All right. I'm glad we didn't spend that much time looking for it. But that cemetery is absolutely humongous.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was really,
Colonel
really good.
Sanders and his wife were both buried there, and it was kind of neat. So, I mean, we've seen in our tours of America over the years, we've seen some cemeteries, like the guy that made the Ouija board.
Yeah.
He had a Ouija board on his headstone right there. So
Yeah.
it's like pretty cool.
Mr.
So Dr. Pepper was
Dr.
there,
Pepper.
the Pringles guy,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So we've seen some pretty cool ones out there just to kind of see them and think, wow, this person really made a difference to society. Left a
Yeah.
big legacy out there. So that's kind of a big one. And then where'd we go after that?
We went into downtown Louisville.
We went to downtown Louisville. So is that when we got our room?
Yeah, we got a room, but we went driving around just kind of looking for
Yeah. So,
whatever.
but the pumpkin, this jack-o'-lantern thing,
So yeah, later that night.
I never heard of it before, and apparently her boss was like, "Oh my God, this thing is huge. You won't believe how big it is." And I'm thinking, yeah, I can only imagine how big it is.
Well, let me preface it by saying when you buy the tickets and you go online to look for the tickets, it says like, so you buy a light up time, like whether it's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, or whatever they are. I think they're out by an hour. And it says that you can start getting in line at whatever time your ticket is for. And that you'll probably be in line for 45 minutes to an hour before you even enter um the outdoor amphitheater into a queue before you even get to the forest. So he was smart. And he's like, hey, let's just head over there. So I guess we got there at like 7:30 and we were probably 20 or 30 in line for the 8:30 time slot.
There were so many other lines, people
my
queued
God.
up out there. I'm like, it goes down the
That
street. I'm like,
7:30 line must have had 500, 800 people that walked past us.
when we were there, they said it was like 70,000 people.
Yeah, they had little thing on there that shows.
Yeah,
But
I'm like,
it was amazing how many people were there. And then it was amazing as we're standing in line watching all these people for the 7:30 time slot go through, how many of them were miserable? They all looked miserable. I'm sure because they'd been waiting for so long.
and there were people fighting in the line, which was
Yeah.
always great to watch and say, "My God,
And
let's
kids
really
screaming.
fire them up."
Oh, yeah.
But it was just I mean, I could not believe the lines. It was bigger than Disneyland lines.
But they had it pretty under control. Like it wasn't any kind of mass chaos. It was pretty under
Well, the
control.
part we saw, yeah, I can imagine when it went all the way down the street.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on down there? But
And where we parked, we thought we were parked pretty far out, but actually we ended up parking pretty close compared to some of the people. So we were fairly lucky when it came to that. So,
I mean, we parked on a cliff. I mean,
I know we did.
The guy was standing in front of us going, "This way, come, keep going." And I'm like, "That's a cliff right there, my friend. I'm going to go over the side." And he's like, "You can make it. You can make it." And I thank God I put the emergency brake on because it was right on the edge of this cliff. I'm like, "Holy cow!" So
we finally get into this thing.
Wow, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen in my life.
About an hour of waiting. We walked through the queue, and it was actually nice because once you got into the amphitheater, they had a bar, they had food, and they had places where you can get something to drink, something to eat before you hit into the forest path. So we got a hot dog and we got a drink while we waited in line.
It was nice to get an adult beverage while you're standing in line because it was just a lot of people and a lot of
and you were able to like run to the bathroom, so it was nice to be able to take a break for a second.
But once you get up and then you start going through this thing, I mean, there's so many pumpkins carved in this thing. It's unbelievable. If you look at our pictures, we got so many pictures of them. But they're in the trees. I mean, way up in the trees. They're all over everything.
Just sensory overload.
Wow,
like there is no way you could see them all. Like so they're on both sides of the path. So you're trying to walk and you're around 1,000 people. You're around 1,000 people who have the largest wagons ever for their kids that aren't in them. Their kids are running around, so they're chasing after their kids and leaving their wagons, but whatever. So they have just so many, and then they have different scenes. Yeah. So they have like a scene with doctors. So you have like Dr. Seuss. You have Dr. Doolittle. You have the different little cartoon doctors. And then they had like a section for Dolly Parton. So they had Dolly Parton on, right? So they had different sections where they showed different types of pumpkins.
I've never seen that many pumpkins in my life carved. And and they're real pumpkins. I mean, I thought for sure they were some plastic thing. And then you touch them and you're like, holy cow, these are real. It's like, that is crazy. And just see how many there were. There is no way we saw all of them. There's just no way because there's just so many of them. And they're so...
So you could probably go every day for a week and not see all of them.
There's just so many. It was a very cool thing. Very good chance to go to Kentucky, Louisville during Halloween. This is the best thing.
Tickets for like less than 25 or something like that.
Really? Wow. That's just cheap.
Which is insane for what it was. It was just an absolute...
And we didn't pay to park.
No, we didn't pay for parking.
Pulled in and they said park right here. So
so it was amazing. It was truly... I'm glad we stayed the night because we didn't get out of there till late. But the amount of pumpkins.
Yeah, I could not believe the amount of and how cool they were carved. I mean, they were really... They had like faces on there. They had Elvis and Kermit and
some of the traditional pumpkin carving styles. And then they had the ones that were just where they shaved the front of them, where they didn't carve all the way through. They just shaved them. But man, oh man, they were just, there was UFOs, there was aliens, there was Bigfoot, there was Wednesday Addams, there was
Crazy.
Debbie Downer. I mean, there was
There's
just,
Debbie Downer in a pumpkin. I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the world is that all about?
just, you just can't imagine.
But if you just look at our pictures, they're up online.
Yeah.
If you look at those, you'll see all the pumpkins that we could take pictures of. There's so
I
many.
probably took 150 some odd
Oh
pictures.
yeah, you did, because I was starting to put them up, and I'm like, we can't use all those. It's just too many. So,
Yeah, but it
but
was
that
well
was
worth
that
the
was
trip.
a great little road trip up there. I mean, we love these Halloween road trips because we can go and see cool stuff and just enjoy the Halloween season, because I love Halloween so much. And you know, when you live in an area that really is kind of like a lot of Debbie Downers out there that don't decorate, and
Yeah.
it just drives me crazy. And I see people on TV all with these communities, everybody's decorating, and I'm like, I wish we had that. So maybe one day we'll get that kind of thing, but right now we didn't get it. But we were able to go to these road trips, and we're going to film a couple of episodes
Yeah.
because we also went to East Tennessee and we went to other places in
We had a
Alabama
very
and
busy Halloween season.
oh yeah. So it's like we were all over the place. So we'll talk about all those things in a little bit, but just it was a great road trip to go up and see this kind of stuff. And it's not that far. I mean, really,
No,
it's just
3 hours. I would love to go back to Bardstown. I'm like, that was probably
Yeah.
one of the, outside of the actual pumpkin spectacular, I think the Bardstown was probably my other favorite part of that
yeah.
trip.
I've never seen a cooler building than that. That is just the coolest place. It's 1796.
Mhm.
I mean, that is crazy that it's that old. And you're like, the people that were standing in that room when we were just having lunch at, I mean, there were people in there like, you know, who knows who they were in that place. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And you can tell how old the building was because of the doorways were probably, I don't know, 6 inches thick.
Oh, they were more than that. They were huge.
Not 12 inches.
It's like these stone doorways, because it was like a damn castle almost. The way it's
Yeah.
built, it's just built so solidly. That's probably why it's here. You know,
Still
from
standing.
1796.
They don't
but
make 'em like they used to.
No, they don't. And that goes for a lot of things. Anyway, so it's like that was a great time to do that kind of stuff. So other than that,
Yeah.
and we're going to come back with a couple more episodes. We'll be posting those in the next couple of days or so. And we'll talk about where else we've gone, because we were all over the place in October. And now that it's November, now we can start putting these things up and telling everybody what we did. And all that. No, never forget, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are all over the place. If you go to YouTube, you can actually subscribe to us. Wow, it's getting tough right now. You can subscribe to us, and then you'll be notified whenever we have a new video pop up. You'll get told, hey, they got a new video. Go take a look at that. So yeah, something's good out there. So other than that, everybody, got anything else, Jill, for the good of the order?
Nope. Come back for the next. We had a busy October, so
Man, October was a busy day. If you just go look at our pictures, there's so many of them up there right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But go check that out. And other than that, we'll see you in the next video out there. All right, go make a great day out there.